Hey guys, welcome to this video. In this video, we are gonna explore the world of ARM template, Azure Resource Manager templates. So before we truly understand the whole kind of thing, we're gonna, you know, uh, focus on bit by bit so we could see the entire ARM template. So the first thing is I think we're gonna need to focus on the schema. And I think we're also gonna discuss the content version here. And then after that, we have an idea now what's the schema of the JSON file. We're gonna focus now on the variables and data types. And then if you are familiar with functions, you'll probably be familiar with parameters. And then of course, variables have secure object and secure string, but it's a good thing to demonstrate secure string. Then last thing was the function. So there's already a built-in function when we are um, using ARM, but sometimes there are things that we need to make some custom functions. Um, it's a good thing now that we get started. So I'll start with the basic schema JSON. So if you want to know, let's say you created a new file. I just put basic one there. It doesn't really matter what the name. So if I type ARM, it will definitely give you the structure for the basic structure of the ARM template. Now we're going to focus on the schema and content version. So imagine that the schema is a tool wherein, like in this situation, it's a tool that tells VS Code that there's this certain document, you should follow the rules defined here. So that's why sometimes um, when we change something inside the ARM file or the JSON file, you're going to see some validation or squiggly lines. Also, when we type something like, for example, in the resource, um, it will help you or guide you through the use of the IntelliSense. So there you go, ARM, let's say, for example, storage account. So the moment you press enter that you have selected that, it will help you to define the object for that resource. So now that we have an idea what this schema really is, what's really doing for us. Another thing here to be aware of this the content version. And most of the time, in my experience, this will always be version 1. But there was a time also that I have experienced version gating in certain deployments. So it doesn't really matter as long as, if you're just exploring it, you don't have to change it, but you have some process along the way within your organization, like version gating in certain deployments. So you probably need to update this one. And then you're gonna see here parameters, functions, variables, resources, and outputs. So before we really go here one by one, I'll start probably um with variables and data types. So I got here a file variables.json. The variables.json, by using the basic structure of the ARM template, we have defined here the variables in the variable section. In our case, we have created 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 types. Like in this example, we have my name and absolutely, I think this is a string, and then my age, probably an integer, and we have here my favorite fruits, but yeah, avocado is one of my favorites though. It's an array, and then we have here my desktop that defines a certain object, so that's why this type is object. And then I haven't really used this in any resources, but I just wanted to show you how we could define variables in the variable section. And then in the output part, as you can see here, there's a built-in function in the ARM template called variables. So for example, in this line 22 up to line 25, as said here that what is my name, then it is expecting a type of string. That is because my variable, my name, is a string. Okay. Now I want to call that variable my name. I need to pass that inside the function variables. So same as with the other types, like in the integer, my age, in the array, so my favorite fruits, like in the objects variables, my desktop. Now, if ever we wanted to deploy this template, uh, let's try it, right? So you're gonna see, uh, it may not be in order. It could, it may not be in order. So the order doesn't really matter. So if we try to type in the command line deployment group create, and then let's define, or let's say the file name is variables.json. Then I put the debug there so we could see what's really happening behind the scenes. There was an issue, so probably it because there's no such file. Oh, let me see. Was Oh, is it because we are in the wrong location or path? So let me go inside the variables and then let me try that again. Variables.json. So as you can see here, using the debug, it's gonna quite verbose for a developer. So we are seeing what's really happening behind the scenes while waiting for the command to finish. So it's still running. Hopefully next time it'll be much more faster. And we are expecting that the outputs will definitely give us those values. But again, the order doesn't really matter because the ARM template is running in a parallel kind of thing. When it's done, so I think it's done now. So look, no, we'll try to look at the output section here. So this is the output. So it's, as you can see, what is my age? The type there is int. The value is 100. That's correct. What is my computer specs? So the type is object, and then the value here, the property like CPU, and then the value is AMD. What is my favorite fruits? So you have here an array, and then the value here inside the array, apple, avocado, pineapple. I just want to add, no, if you have defined an array, so it cannot be mixed with other types. So if it is an array of an integer, it will always be an array of integer. So yeah, try to keep that in mind. And then the last is, what is my name? Yeah, it's a string. So now that we have an idea about the variables, how we define it, and the different types on the variables, maybe we could proceed to the next thing, which is parameters. So parameters actually, how can I say is, actually we need to define parameters. If you have experience in other programming languages, it's just like a part of a function wherein you define those things that are needed to be passed, right? You need to pass those arguments or values along the way when you call this. So like in this example, we have defined a parameter, which is a secure password. So the secure password is type is secure string. So secure string is one of the types of ARM template. So if you want to actually review it, let's go back to variables. So the types are actually string, int, array, and object. And the two more is the secure string and secure object. So I hope you get that. And then let's go back again to the parameter. Now that we have defined it, right? So we could create another file that will hold the value, that wherein we could pass it here. Now, there's a certain output that I have just created, just just to check. Not really showing up what's the value because it's a secret kind of thing, but just wanted to know how long the string is. So, I think if you want to know, you could just click here somewhere. Like say for example, I created this. If I click there, yeah, I could create another parameter for for a certain file. Yeah, anyway, so going back. So I have stored my my secure secret password inside the Azure Key Vault. So I have used the subscription here that I have, and I also added some um, RBAC for me to get able to access it in certain policies. So I could get the value. So the secret theme is DB connection string. So I hope you're pretty much familiar with it, the connection string. So the moment we try to run this or deploy this, um, let me move one directory, then let me go to parameters. Oh, the first thing or the good thing is we could say the template file. The template file, yeah, parameters.json. And then we need to also say where is the actual parameter that will be passed for the execution of the template file. So when I press enter here, oh, apologies about the debug, but anyway, hope you get the point. Yeah, it will be passed there, and then we are expecting some quite a length of the string, that was being processed. And yeah, always remember, guys, that in this situation, you need um, a role access for you to, get the value. So taking a while, so let's try to wait. So while waiting, probably we could, go to another section. Oh yeah, there you go. So the output is already here. So it says here the output, the secure password int, and then the value is 48. So yeah, try to imagine it's a connection string. So it should be long. So yeah. So there you go. Now for the last one is functions. So I just want to clear up again functions. We have built-in and we have um, custom functions. So first we'll just focus on the built-in functions. There are a lot of functions actually, but in this demonstration, we just need to focus probably on the comparison function just to to have a overview. So here I have defined the parameters num_a, num_b, num_c. I have also defined the type, which is obviously an integer, but because we don't have another file for the parameter, I just set the default value for each parameters. And then inside the outputs, so I don't want to mess with the functions, variables, and resources. I just put inside the outputs. I just want to play with it. So for example, in this one, is equal in string. The type is string. So I said here, call the format built-in function, which formats a certain string, So is num_a, which is the first or the 0 argument, equals to the num_b, which is the second argument. And then I have here the last part, which is another function, which is equals, passing both num_a and num_b again to check for the equality. Then when the equality is passed, it will be passed on the format function to say if it is true or false. So you have seen it quite a nested kind of thing. So probably if you've seen it, it's a good observation on your end. Then another thing is greater. So we have here bool. The reason is we didn't use any other functions to nest within the greater built-in function. So that's why we just use bool. So greater actually returns bool, true or false. Then another thing is we played around again, greater or equals. So the type again is string. Then we nested greater or equals to format function. Same as with is equal in string. Then less. So I hope you have seen the pattern there. So then less or equals, same as with the previous pattern that we have seen. So if you want to run this actually, so we need to go to functions, and then I think we don't need the parameter. So the file for here is comparison dot. Oh no, it's dash function season. Let's try to put the debug so we could see what's happening. Then at the end, at the very end, we'll try to see the outputs. So there could be some typo error on my end, but yeah, you see the point. So yeah, it might take a while. So while it's being accepted at the moment, so again, we have just used built-in functions, but there are instances that we need to combine and nest these functions for us to have a certain custom functions, and we're gonna discuss that. Yeah, so after this, probably after the discussion of the output. So let's go to the output. So for the output section, we have here greater. So as you can see, the type is bool. So the value is false. So there you go. We don't have any formatting string there. So that's why we just get the Boolean value. Then greater equals, which, is quite a string. Then, yeah, we put there is 11 greater than equal to 10. So true. Same as with the others. So is equal in string, is less or equals. So I hope you got a point there. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. Now let's go to the custom function. So actually, custom functions are quite easy. So let's say I have this basic one.json file, right? So if I'm inside the function, I could say new user func name. I'll just press enter. Then you just need to put those values. So in my case, we show it now. So in my case, I created a certain namespace. I told it my custom func. So then the members you need to define the name. And then when you have defined the name, you need to set the parameters. So in my instance, I have two, but you could put any or many, more than two. Then the output, as you can see, I just played around. So yeah, to lower, because I know you're gonna create a resource name or something name inside a certain group, will be need to be lower. So I just concatenated the prefix and the ID coming from the parameters. Now, if ever um, I wanted to actually call that function, I created two variables inside my variable section. So the first one is env, local env, and then I define my storage account, and then I called my function. So my custom func, which is the namespace, and then get storage name account. Can define anything, for this demonstration course, I just did it. So just to be simple, that I pass the variable env, which is local env, then Unix string, another built-in string, then pass the another built-in function, which is resource group, and then get the ID. So just to be aware, I think more than 25 characters, you're gonna have a problem when creating a new storage account. Now the resources here, I have defined, or the type actually is storage account. So, but the main resource provider is the Microsoft Storage. And then, yeah, that's pretty much straightforward. The name, type, API version, the tags. You go, then the location. Kind. I didn't define any outputs. Let's just try to run this or deploy this. So I'm inside the function. So probably, oh yeah. So this is correct. So hopefully no error. I haven't really run this, I think. Custom function debug. So looks like it's doing well. So yeah, so it's running. So I hope you have understood a lot of things. It's quite straightforward. To be honest, the first time I saw this, there's a lot of keywords or functions that I need to be aware of. So I think we need to be aware of the variables, parameters, built-in functions, and custom functions to understand the whole ARM template. So yeah, I think it was successful. So probably for the last part, I can open my Azure portal and let me check my resource group. And I think my resource group is Azure Explore ARM templates. Let me go to the resources. So I couldn't find it, so apologies for that. But anyway, I think we got here the storage amount what we are actually looking for. So local env, and then the next strings right after the local env is dynamically generated. So I hope you like this video. So let me know what your thoughts about this video. So thank you and bye bye.